right, how's everybody doing? Welcome to another episode of Soul to Soul. I am MC Mr. Cotton, your host to do the most. And today we have another special guest, and they call him Box the Hungry Genius. All right, I know him as Young Box back in the day, but now he done flipped. He's grown up now. You know what I'm saying? So now he's Box the Hungry Genius. What's up, my brother?
What's up with it, bro?
Show,
I appreciate y'all, man.
Man, we really appreciate you blessing us with your presence today, man.
I'm
You know, this brother is a young entrepreneur. He has a lot of stuff going on. You understand what I'm saying? So music is the main focal. You know what I'm saying? But this brother is venturing off into other things, and he's gonna tell y'all his story in a minute. So, Box the Hungry Genius.
Yo,
Right on. That's dope, bro. That's dope.
I appreciate it.
So let's start from here. So I hear you have your own label,
Yo, Hungry Boy Records.
Hungry Boy Records.
Yeah.
When will Hungry Boy Records be looking to sign talent?
That's a great question. So I want to say maybe the next 2 to 3 years. Really, I can't put a timestamp on it because what I want to do is I want to make sure I get myself where I want to get to in my career from a platform standpoint to where I'm established enough to when I start signing artists and I start shining my light on other artists, people are respected because they know I'm already established.
Right.
You know, I no disrespect to nobody else
No,
out
makes
there, but I
sense.
see a lot of people, a lot of rappers start labels,
Right.
and then the main artist hasn't gotten to where they need to get to, and then it's like I don't want to shortstop nobody else's career or make them feel well. And Box not where he want to be at, so that's why I'm not hot.
Right.
I want to be understood. I'm so hot to where if I shine my light on somebody else, they know, okay, man, if Box co-signing this person, they dope. You know what
they're
I'm
gonna
saying?
be hot too.
Correct.
Right on, my brother. And that's a good way of thinking about it, man. I'm glad you said that, man, because a lot of cats is doing that out here. You know what I'm saying? And they really need to focus on. If they're going to be the main artist, focus on yourself.
Yes.
Or if you have a main artist and you're just going to be the CEO, producer, then you focus on that main artist, right? You got to get somebody hot in order to be able to get everybody else hot.
And you leave a legacy like that. You know what I'm saying? So I know right now I haven't reached a part in my career where I'm saying I'm good with playing the backfield.
Right.
I'm still grinding, still putting out new music as an artist under my own now. So I'm not ready to pass the ball to somebody else yet, unless I'm ready and I could teach them what it was that I need to be taught. You know, and on top of that, man, that's a serious thing. You playing with somebody's life.
Right.
So when you sign the artist, it ain't just wear the label T-shirt and let's go make songs. That's the easy part. Like you basically sitting down with somebody and you saying, I'm finna develop a relationship with you, and we gonna try to change your life through the music or through the entertainment industry. So I don't want to play with nobody's career life. I don't even want to have that on my jacket where somebody saying Boxing took advantage of me or he promised me this and he didn't make good on it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I understand, and that's a good way to think, man. I applaud you on that right there.
Yeah.
So what's the name of your album project that you have out?
Pandemic Pressure. So I dropped Pandemic Pressure November the 3rd last year.
Okay.
I created it during the pandemic last year. I hadn't put out a project in about 3 to 4 years because I was focused on building my company, my life insurance business.
Right.
And man, I got inspired. I never stopped writing, but I just wasn't on the road doing shows.
Right.
And I got inspired to write Pandemic Pressure during the pandemic, and I got creative. And man, it turned into a dope project. So it's my first solo mixtape. Under Hungry Boy Records, the album Pandemic Pressure about to drop soon, but this is a dope tape. I got Max Manelli on there. I got Big Head the Dome Doctor.
Right.
I got the incredible R&B singer Samuel Maurice. Man, and on the album, we're working on possibly getting Mounts on there. So we got a couple other people, things on my checklist, my bucket list of artists I looked up to when I was just Lil Box.
Right, no doubt. Look, and since you mentioned that, do you have anything on digital sites?
Platforms, yes.
Platforms?
So right now, the mixtape is on all the mixtape websites except for, I think, it's on all the mixtape websites. So you can get it on Dat Piff, Spinrilla, all of that good stuff. The album that's about to drop is going to be on all this. So I have individual songs. I got a record called Our Bets on Me is on all platforms. A record I'm pushing right now that I made for the pandemic is called Faith Cry. So it's for all of the people that need to their spirits need to be lifted because some people lost family members, their jobs. So I do have individual songs on all platforms, but Pandemic Pressure it won't be on streaming platforms until the album drop. But the mixtape is on all mixtape platforms.
Right. And not to get off the subject of music, but how do you feel about what's going on today with the pandemic and et cetera, et cetera? How has it affected you to where before it started, you were quote unquote doing your thing,
right? To
where now when it started, it just
kind of slowed everything down.
Yes, sir.
It's a gift and a curse. The gift is, the pandemic woke up a lot of people who probably wasn't on their grind and was scared to go do that side hustle or maximize or bet on themselves. Mm-hmm. That's what I've been standing on throughout the whole pandemic, is bet on yourself. The pandemic showed us that nobody's coming to save us. There's no such thing as a safety net. No disrespect to no jobs. I've had over 40 jobs, so I'm not one of them entrepreneurs who be like, quit your job, fire your boss. I understand some people have stepping stones. But the pandemic showed us, man, I can't depend on the government because the government shut down for a little minute. And I can't depend on this job. So specifically for me, how it affected me with my life insurance business, things kind of slowed down because I'm used to sitting down with clients. I'm a licensed life insurance agent. And I talk to them at their kitchen table. And I teach about money principles. I couldn't do that face-to-face because of the pandemic. So it slowed down my production and how I moved and things like that. But on the music side, it made me say, okay, I got all this downtime at the crib. My fans always would tell me, man, you a dope artist, but we need more visuals from you. So I started creating a lot of content. So if you go to my YouTube channel, Box the Hungry Genius, you'll start seeing that I've been uploading a lot of content. Sit downs, me freestyling, me in the studio. I got a vlogumentary that I'm shooting called Pandemic Pressure Vlogumentary. We're on episode 3. So I created a lot of content during the pandemic. So it helped me out a lot. And I seen a lot of our people, man, that we done started more businesses during the pandemic, so it put a lot of confidence in our people, man, and my heart goes out to the people that have lost loved ones during the pandemic. But if anything, that was the best thing that could have happened to black people, you know what I'm saying? I think we came together more, and we seen, okay, man, we could buy black, and we could own the block and real estate and investing. So it affected me in a great way, not in a negative way. And I had actually got COVID in July, but I beat it.
Okay, well, all right, that's what's up, man. Good for you. Next time, warn me, because I could have put some sanitizer for us. No, I'm just messing with you.
Look, we hit the sanitizer before we got out the car, me and my son, but you right, though.
I'm just messing with you, brother. But look, we're going to take a break.
Okay.
And we're going to come right back. Hold up a minute. We're going to be right back, right after this message.
That when nigga get the call in the cops, telling they mama, telling they sisters, moving out their house and shit, you hear me? All that pussy ass shit, you hear me? We ain't doing none of that. We still on the same block, still at the same still in the same car. 24/7, man. 365. Yeah, keep a drum on me, boy. Pressure been applied, nigga. Keep a drum on me, boy.
All right, welcome back to Soul to Soul. And our guest today is the one and only Box, the Hungry Genius. And I'm truly Mr. Cotton. Look, I'll tell you what. tell us about what you're doing now. What you got going on right now? You know, I know you got different things, and explain some of them things to us that you got going on.
Well, my main thing I'm doing is I'm a money coach, so I teach financial literacy outside of me doing music.
Okay.
So I'm very big on educating the community on not just how to manage their money and invest their money, but also the importance of life insurance. Like
Okay.
my moniker is coaching with a crusade to change the community. So you know we all from around the way. We done seen situations where people die, they don't have no life insurance, or they got a fried fish, do a supper dinner, GoFundMe.
Right.
So I sit down with the people. I'm dressed like this when I sit down with them, and I meet them where they at. I educate them, and then I help them put together a financial game plan. So
Right.
I've been doing that for 7 years, and what got me into that was my love for music.
Mm-hmm.
I was working at the car dealership. I really wanted to leave there because most of my time was at the dealership.
Right.
And you know me, I'm doing shows here and there.
Right.
I had to turn down a lot of shows because my boss wouldn't let me take off from work. So I prayed, I asked God to bless me with an extra hustle.
Right.
And 2 days later, I met my mentor, Charles. He showed me how to get into the life insurance industry, and he was like, use the income from that to pour into your music.
Right.
But you can control your time and your money if you work for yourself.
Right.
So I'm like, that's better. And I fell in love with it. What was a pivot in my life turned into kind of like my purpose, you know. So that's my main focus, is to become a broker in Baton Rouge, to start my own life insurance agency.
Right.
But the main focal point gonna always be the music.
Mm-hmm.
So outside of that, I got Hungry Boy Records, the label, and I'm putting out all my independent releases under my label now. I signed myself to my label,
Okay.
and that's really my main focal point, is my life insurance business and my music company, and just putting out more projects. You know, everything else after that'll be a springboard from that. And I'm educating artists too on the music business, but that's something like that I'll be launching like later on this year.
Okay, you just the jack of all trades over here, man.
Yeah, I don't want to be a master of none though. So right now I'm building my company and my music, you know, and everything else like that, man. I study Master P a lot. I really want to venture out and do a lot of different things, but I know you got to get great at one or two different things, and
Right.
then you don't want to spread yourself too thin, you know.
Right. I hear you, my brother. And that's what's up, man. I see you got a lot of things going on, and that would definitely inspire a lot of youngsters out here today.
Yeah.
Who's only like stuck on one thing, and
Right.
et cetera, et cetera. You definitely inspiring them to do that, man. You got to excuse me, my phone is going on.
No,
I
it's all
thought I
good.
had the volume down on it. So is there anything else you want to share with us when it comes to your music, the ventures you got coming up, dealing with your music?
Yeah, man, definitely. Pandemic Pressure. My mixtape is on www.voteforbox.com. And the reason why the website is voteforbox.com, I decided to run a music campaign, where I named myself the Pandemic President.
Okay.
And I'm just telling people, hey, man, look, we already seen what the leadership in the United States was looking like last year before they got Trump out the house.
Right.
So I'm like, let me lead the people through what I know how to do best, which is my art.
Right.
You know, so voteforbox.com. Anytime you go download my mixtape, it counts as a vote for me. And then you also is on my email subscribe list, where I can always send you new music or new videos or whatever. But Pandemic Pressure is my baby right now. It's my first ever project I've ever put out independently myself. Everything else was under Big Faces Entertainment. Shout out to Candace. That was the first label, gave me a shot and helped my career get started. But everything is independent now. So it's a tape you definitely going to love front to back. You can put it in, let it roll. But it's really a blueprint for the hustler. So if you put in Pandemic Pressure, it's going to get you through your day and grind. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely something you listen to all day.
I'm about to check that out, my
Yeah.
brother. Look, tell us who inspired you to become the artist that you are today.
That's a great question, Cotton. So it's so many different answers, but I'm gonna pay homage first. I said this on another interview I had. Locally, it was Max Manelli first. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
My first two mixtapes was called Bring the Pain Volume 1, I'm All I Got. My second one was Bring the Pain Volume 2, Word of Mouth. The Bring the Pain series came from Max Manelli album, Max Pain. You know, so Max was the first artist that inspired me. He was talking about, you know, I think his mom, single mom, all that, you know, on his songs, and I could just feel the authenticity in the records. And then, of course, he graduated to the whole camp life, but then Boosie, and then the whole Baton Rouge, like, just music, the artists, from the Ville Boys, shout out to them, the YGs, the local high school, teen sensations. I was inspired by all of those people, but solo artists, I would have to say Max and Boosie, you know what I'm saying, locally. And then I was a bootlegger in high school, so I was selling CDs and things. So then that's when I graduated to the East Coast and the West Coast rappers. I fell in love with the game. That's how, when people listen to me now, they like, man, you a lyricist. Like, I love lyrics. So shout out the game. I love this music. And then I got on Cameron and Dipset, New York artists. And then I fell in love with them, Fabulous. And then, you know, back down to the South, T.I., you know, the Atlanta, Rick Ross. So, you know, it just gradually progressed. As I got older, different artists started becoming my favorite artists. But the nucleus is at home. It definitely was, you know, Max, Boosie. And then I fell in love with Fox, man. Shout out to Fox. Fox just was like a whole different animal that I think the city had never seen. And, man, I started to even rap like him at one time. And I had to, but I was finding my sound, you know. But you know, with Fox, I just fell in love with his music, the whole Trill Entertainment, and I just took that pot of gumbo from Baton Rouge artists that inspired me, mixed it with the artists I liked from the East Coast, and then the artists I liked from the West Coast, and that's why that just inspired me. That's why when you hear my music now, you're gonna get a little bit of everything. It's always gonna be top tier lyricism. I still write my bars down. I don't come off the head. I know that's something new with the new generation, but I gotta pay homage to home. I would definitely say Max, Boost, the whole Trill, definitely Fox, you know, and then it just graduated from there, you know.
Okay, but hold that thought. We're gonna take a break. And
Pop that fucking pussy, throw that fucking ass. Pop that fucking pussy, throw that fucking ass. Pop that fucking pussy, throw that fucking ass. Turn around, face down, make that pussy clap. Pop that fucking pussy, pop that fucking pussy. Pop that fucking pussy.
all right, welcome back. Soul to Soul with our special guest, the one and only Box, the Hungry Genius. Listen, tell us about the early days, man, because we was talking during the break just now.
Right.
So tell us about your early days, your early stages, how you know, where you record at, how you got started, first studios or whatever.
Man, I started recording in a closet. I think most artists start recording in the closet back then.
I still do.
You still, it's okay, so you know what I'm saying? Now, you know, you got these artists, they go get everything and they record themselves at the house and they got the top tier equipment, but back then, you know, you get it out the mud, sheet over the dough in your room and everything. So I started out in a rap group at first. I wasn't always a solo artist.
Okay, that's interesting because I never knew that.
Yes.
Tell us about that, man.
The Wrecking Crew, that's what it was called. So that's why earlier I shouted out like the YGs, Ville Boys. These, I'm gonna be honest with you, these was like the high school teen sensations in Baton Rouge. I can't think of a group off the top of my head. Like, if B2K and all these other groups was rap groups back then, these was like our, you know, B2K, you know what I'm saying? Not that they was singing, these was rap artists, but they had all of the girls going crazy. They had hit songs, you know what I'm saying? So I say that to say, you know, when we formed the Wrecking Crew, we like, okay, well, who are the artists we could look at? All it was like Slaughterhouse, the YGs, the Sharp Bus Boys, and the Ville Boys. Shout out to all of them. I rock with all of them. So when we became the Wrecking Crew, we tried to pan ourselves behind their formula. Okay, they all making fight songs, jig songs. We started making them type of records, and we started in the closet at my homeboy's scooter house. It started with like about 5 members, and then we narrowed it down to me, my cousin, and my best friend Jamal at the time. And then we started going to Greg Duke's studio. So that's where it started, man. And I got to Greg Duke's studio, and you know, he a legend, you know. So we see all the writing on the wall where people that sign their names. And I think we recorded a song called "What Your Bank Bout" was your first single. Shout out to DJ Big Wayne. Big Wayne was selling beats like hotcakes back then. And we had a song called Blues You, and it was basically a fighting record. and we recorded a few more songs at Greg Duke's. But I say that to say, we started out there, and I felt that's when I started falling in love with the music. Like I could really do this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
And but they wasn't serious. So you know, my cousin them, they kind of was doing it as a hobby, but they could rap better than me at that time. But I had like the drive, and I had like an itch I wanted to scratch.
Right.
And shout out to Puppy, man. Well, Mike Rich, now Puppy done reinvented himself from DCL. I met Puppy at Guitar Center one day, and we just was looking at some stuff. I didn't know him, and he was like, "You rap?" We started talking. He said, "You need to go holler at Gus at Bottom Line Records." You know,
Gus, yeah.
shout out to Gus. And at that time, Gus was Kevin Gates' in-house engineer,
Right.
you know, and beat maker. So I took Gus' number from Mike Rich, and I called Gus, and my solo career started like that. I went to the group, and I told him, "Hey, man, look, I see y'all not really serious with the music. I want to go solo." And at 16, I don't know why I'm talking like this is a Lifetime movie, but back then I remember it. It was the uncertainty, but I knew I was certain that I just wanted to give music a real shot.
Right.
And I went solo, man, and they respected it. To this day, I respect them because they wasn't bitter. And when I became a solo artist, they would come to my shows and help me pass out my flyers and my CDs.
Right.
So it started in Big Faces Entertainment. I met my CEO at the time through her cousin, which was a classmate at Ballard High School. I'm from Sherwood. So, she say my cousin got a label she started. She was like, "Man, you rap. I think y'all need to go holler at her."
Right.
And Candace, shout out to Candace, man. That's my best friend still to this day. She liked the music that we was putting out as a group, but she really gravitated towards me.
Right.
So when she heard I went solo, she reapproached me and was like, "Look, I know you're not with the group no more. Come sign with me."
Right.
I told her, "No, I'm straight. I'm going to do my own thing." And I went and started to record my first mixtape, Bring the Pain Volume 1. I was riding my bike every week, Cotton, to Dollar General. I was staying in Monticello at the time, and I was paying for studio time. My check was about $100 a week.
Right.
Gus was charging $30 an hour for a song, so I would have $70 left over after each check if I'm doing one record. And then eventually Gus took a liking to me. In some sessions, he just kind of was like, "It's on me."
Right.
But he seen me just
That's
consistently showing
love.
up.
Yeah.
And, we developed a relationship. And make a long story short, it just show you how God worked. After I finished the mixtape, she reapproached me again. She like, "Man, I want you to come to my label."
Right.
I say, "Well, look, let's make a deal." You know what I'm saying? Not knowing nothing about the music business is so crazy. She said, "I'll do this." She said, "Since you already paid for your mixtape, I'll pay for the promotion if you sign with me." You know what I'm saying? No advance. And we basically, when I went back years later and I looked at what kind of deal we had, we didn't know what we was doing. I signed paperwork and everything. But I was signed to her, but we really had a partnership of 50-50.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, I understand that, right.
But I didn't know it. And the reason why I respect her to this day is she never took advantage of me financially. She always did what was best, what's in the best interest of me or even the other artists she had. Eventually, all the other artists kind of just left the label for whatever reasons, and then I put Big Faces Entertainment on my back, and we ran. Me, her, and my hype man, Big Slim, shout out to him. And I made a name for myself in Baton Rouge on the high school level, and that gave me the foundation of artist development, how to show up on time at the studio, building relationships with the DJs.
Right.
And then that's when I knew then, I'm like, okay, when it was time for me to transition and leave and go do my own thing a few years ago, I was confident because of all the work we had put in back then. So I was telling homie, when you had stepped out for a second, I say, man, that's what's missing in the game, the artist development.
Right.
An artist can put a record out right now. They can record it literally today, mix it, master it, put it out on YouTube and go viral, and their phone will be ringing for shows. And what happens is, the gift is, you don't have to put in as much legwork now to get hot in certain instances.
Right.
Not saying that you shouldn't put in the work for anybody watching this, but at the end of the day, too, you miss all the necessary steps because you blew up literally overnight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I had to
yeah,
go through,
understand.
the DJs kept telling us, no, that ain't the right record. No, that ain't hot. No, we ain't playing it. Yeah, we gonna play it. And just showing up consistently to the club,
Right.
standing by the DJ,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Going do the open mics, the free shows.
Right.
All of that is what develops you and gives you thick skin, and you learn. But the most important thing, you build a relationships.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that part of my life, man, I'm excited about it. I'm blessed. I'm grateful. But I don't harp on it too much anymore because sometimes people can hold on to their glory days and they never move forward.
Right.
So I'm excited as a CEO and as an artist now that's more evolved, more lyrical. I mean, I executive produce everything. I write all my records. I write my R&B records. I write everything. The only thing I don't do is mix and master, and I pay for my studio time.
Right.
So it's liberating when you betting on yourself, but somebody gave me an opportunity first.
Right.
And
right.
then I took advantage of the opportunity, and then I went and built my own, kind of like what Master P did with Snoop. You know what I'm saying?
Right, I remember that.
So that was my days, man. I started Closet, Greg Duke, shout out to him,
Yeah,
Gus,
right
Bottom
on,
Line
right
Records, and now I rock with Deadly Sounds Music. Shout out to Tucson, and that's where I record my music at, man, and give me my great sound. But that was my story back then, man. So to anybody that was a Lil Box fan, I still got all my old music out there, but Box the Hungry Genius, all my new stuff is under that name. All my new music, visuals, all of that. But the Lil Box era is just a part of my life. It's not the end of my life, you know?
Right. That's what it is, man. Very interesting, man. I'm glad you shared that with us, man.
Yeah.
Is there any advice you have for the up-and-coming artists out here, and to those who's going to be watching this? Is there any advice that you have to them? Because basically they heard your struggle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What would you advise them to do or to pay attention to or to be aware of when it comes to trying to, make it in this business?
Yeah.
Inspiring artist, period. Not just a rapper, but an artist.
Number one, learn the music business.
Right.
One thing, shout out to Shantae on the track, man. I always gotta pay homage, bro. He changed my life.
Definitely.
Definitely. Shantae he used to master my songs. Gus would mix them, and then Shantae would master them. And man, Shantae called me and Candace to his studio one night out the blue. It scared me.
Yeah.
And he just was like, Box, I need y'all to come to my studio. And we didn't have that type of relationship, so it kind of, I'm like, why? I'm like, we ain't getting no songs mastered. This
Right.
I'm looking at my CEO. She like, no. So he sat down with me, like we talking. I put this on my son, and he said, Box, you a dope artist. And we just sitting there. I'm like, what the hell going on? And I'm gonna be honest with you. This was around the time that the Illuminati thing had came out on YouTube. So I'm like, is we in an Illuminati meeting? All kind of stuff going through my head.
Yeah.
And he just basically was like, most artists that are dope with rapping don't make it in the music business. And I looked at him and I'm like, okay, where we going with this? He said the reason why, he said they never go learn the music business.
Right.
They just focus on the art.
Right.
He like, you could rap, you can make great music.
Right.
He said, but you need to go learn the music business.
Right.
He said everything ain't as black and white as you see it on TV. He like, when your favorite artist is blowing up and things like that, there's a plan behind them and there's a marketing strategy or a marketing scheme.
Right.
He even got into the 106 in Parks. He like, man, those slots are paid for.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Billboard too.
It blew me away because he was talking about all they're doing is creating a perception for the consumer. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I was like, really? And I was younger then, but what I left out of that meeting, I was so scared because I had put all my time, effort, and energy into becoming an artist, and I still do that to this day. I'm like, all this not finna be for nothing. So if he telling me to go learn the music business, I'm finna go learn the music business.
Right.
So, while other people was looking for me for the past 3-4 years, like why Box ain't doing as many shows or why he ain't put out any projects, I still was writing. I had never stopped writing.
Right.
But I was
learning the business.
Oh man, I'm on YouTube watching Wendy Day. I'm watching everything. I'm watching every 50 Cent interview, every Master P interview, Dame Dash. Like I'm watching all of this and I'm learning and I'm educating myself because I'm like, okay, this next time around, I'm gonna make sure everything is done right. So I say all that to
this and all that. Soon as you get to applying pressure, that when nigga get to calling the cops, telling they mama, telling they sisters, you know, moving out their house and shit, you hear me? You know, all that pussy ass shit, you hear me? We ain't doing none of that. We still on the same block, still at the same still in the same car. 24-7, man.
365.
Yeah, keep a drum on me, boy.
Pressure been applied, nigga.
Keep a drum on me, boy.
You might not know where to start at, man. You could just Google on YouTube. Now everything on the internet. Yeah. What are the things I need to know about the music business? Right. And it'll lead you from there. Yeah. Go buy a music business book. If you don't like to physically read, get you an audio book about the music business. Because at the end of the day, we have a lot of talented artists, especially in Baton Rouge. Shout out to all the artists in Baton Rouge. But one thing that we don't have is the knowledge of the business. Right. And if you coming from the hood like me, you know, we got a certain energy. Sometimes we might not know how the business works and we think of somebody playing with us. Right. And then we want to show up and not be professional and we want to take it to a whole nother level and really know this is how the business was supposed to go in the first place. Right. So I would say learn the music business. Right. And from the music side, I don't talk about this enough. Man, like, stick to your gut. You know what your sound is, and you know what you sound like. One of my biggest things I've always went up against in Baton Rouge is making jig music. Right. You know what I'm saying? I love the jig era. I made jig songs, but not a lot. Right. But that never just was my lane, because like I say, most of the music I grew up on was East Coast and West Coast, and like New Orleans, the Soulja Slim, the Cash Money, all that. Right. But I heard the Baton Rouge music and I grew up in it and around it. But when it came to the jig part, shout out to the Jiggalators, everybody, man, Big School, Sam I Am, them, Down Bad, everybody. It's just, I used to see sometimes when certain records I would write, they would be bigger than the city. But my team would get frustrated and be like, well, man, we just need to just go ahead and dumb it down a little bit. Right. And I've always stood on, I'm not dumbing nothing down. Right. You know what I'm saying? It might take me a little bit longer because the consumers might have to catch up with what I'm saying or how I'm saying what I'm saying. But eventually when you do it your way, it's more liberating. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I'm not saying you shouldn't pivot sometimes. I done pivoted and made a club record. I done pivoted and made street records. I done pivoted and made this type of record. But stay true to yourself when you making your music. If you feel like something ain't right, but you got people telling you need to do this, man, stick to your guns. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because if you stick to your guns and it work, then you did it your way. Right. And it's more liberating for me to make it sticking to my guns versus dumbing myself down. And then I make it, and it's like, well, you wasn't being all the way true to you. You know what I'm saying? So I would tell artists, learn the music business, and when it comes to creating the art, stick to your sound. I mean, a lot of people didn't think Young Thug was going to make it because of how he, whatever his, it's a whole nother genre for how he be on the song. But I seen an interview with people from Atlanta. They was like, even though people didn't understand that high-pitched singing or whatever ad-libbing he was doing, they knew it was going to work. And he stayed consistent. Right. And now it's its own sound. Right. You know what I'm saying? But he stuck to what he knew. He could have rapped like a T.I. or anybody like that. So I use that as an example to say, stick to your guns with your art. And when it comes to the business, learn the music business, learn publishing, learn royalties, learn about ASCAP, BMI. I'm throwing these words out so anybody that's watching this can go Google it, because I know it's foreign if you come from the hood or just not even from the hood like I did. I didn't know nothing about it at 17 years old. Right. My CEO didn't know nothing about it, even though she had the label, and there wasn't no disrespect to her or me. We just was ignorant. So Shantae changed my life. I started my label, but I made sure that when I started my label, I was going to have the knowledge of the in and out workings of a music label and just how an artist's supposed to get paid. So, man, before we leave, I just want to let everybody know I will be starting something for the artists in Baton Rouge and surrounding areas. It's going to be called HBCU, Hungry Boy Coaching University, and I'll be mentoring artists on artist development. I'll be coaching artists. I won't be managing them, but I'll be coaching them. Right. Artists will be able to sit down with me, Cotton, and I'll be able to take them through the steps of how to register for their publishing, their royalties, everything. I think that's something that not only the game needs, but our city needs. So that'll be one of my ways I'm paying forward back to the city, and that'll be a part of my legacy. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's where I'm at with it, bro.
That's what it is, man. Look, we want to thank the one and only Box, the Hungry Genius.
I appreciate you, man.
for joining us, man. And we definitely want to appreciate you for blessing our studio with your presence, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the show, Soul to Soul. I love it.
Right on. Thanks a lot, man. Shout out to Greg Dukes, video mixtape,
Shout out Greg Duke.
for allowing us to use his facility, and shout out to the hottest video photographer out of Kentwood, Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? The one and only Floyd Holden Jr.
Okay, double salute.
Couldn't do it without you, bro. We couldn't do it without you. So in other words, like I said once again, this has been another episode of Soul to Soul. We will see y'all next week the same time. Once again, salute to my brother, Box the Hungry Genius. Tell them one more time where they can get your stuff.
www.vote4boxx.com. Very simple.
Tell them how to get in touch with you if they want to book you.
225-407-3097.
And tell them how to get in touch with you if they want to get the insurance going.
Same number, 225-407-3097.
All right, my
Yeah.
brother. Thanks a
Appreciate
lot.
you, brother.
All right, we out of here, man. Peace.